Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. This is our week 12 best bets episode for our season long contest. You will get 5 of our best bets against the spread as you do each and every week. Before we get into our picks of the week, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude. Now, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? Back at it again. Feels good to break the curse. Jesus God. All right. I'm glad it was a 3-2 week. Like I said, I'm just glad we're on the winning side of things again. And on top of that, too, a lot of news happened throughout this week. Remember I told you about the coaches, and I said, Daniel Jones, you're in the place of your coach because you've been playing bad. It turns out they thought the same thing. Got rid of his ass real quick.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is changing. A lot of wheels are turning. Some teams becoming desperate. Some teams becoming not serious. I will say it sucks, but the Bengals have been the worst best team
Ever.
ever. Statistically and eye test. I mean, Joe Burrow has done exactly what I thought he was going to do. And it sucks because the Bengals are, we love the Bengals on this podcast. We had aspirations to the roof. Unfortunately, they were a team to target for props and not futures and game lines. But I will say this, most likely not going to be on the Bengals for the rest of the year. So, you guys can, count on that. It's just a team that's just, you don't know what we're going to get anymore because, unfortunately, their odds of making the playoffs are extremely slim at this point. And you can kind of see the disarray in the locker room with, you can tell it's like a coaches versus player type of deal here in the defense. So just want to put that disclosure out there. Most likely for the rest of the year will not be on the Bengals because there's really not going to be any value on them from our perspective. But we must move ahead. We had a winning week last week. Let's get the train rolling once again, Dino. We have 5 picks to get into. Are you ready?
You know I am. Let's go.
All right. We've got 3-ish dogs, 2 big dogs, 2 favorites. Let's start with our first pick of the week, and that is the Indianapolis Colts plus 7.5 at home versus the Lions. I know what you're thinking. The Lions are the hottest team in the league right now. They are unstoppable. They put up points at will. Jared Goff is throwing the ball wherever he wants. The defense is flying around the field, intercepting everything. And we have a 2-headed monster at running back. What if I told you this might be one of the biggest, looking at the schedule, I should say, this might be one of the biggest spots for a really underwhelming performance. I think this is a letdown spot for the Lions, and we're getting a good number on a Colts team where Anthony Richardson finally looked like he had some confidence last week. Made tight passes between defenders with confidence. He wasn't just looking to tuck and run every play. Stood in the pocket, made a couple really big throws on some tough hits, and they looked capable. When Shane Steichen has a quarterback with confidence, you see the creativity in the offense. And that is what I'm looking forward to this game. Shane Steichen knows we have to put up points. Anthony Richardson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league at just basing it off of what the defense gives him. He's gonna get outside the pocket. He's gonna extend the play. And I think the biggest thing that we can take advantage of is the Lions' lack of pressure over the last few weeks without Aiden Hutchinson. If Anthony Richardson's offensive line, which we know is one of the best offensive lines in the league, they've got names. They just have to statistically put it together. If they show up this game, the Colts are going to have a shot to not only cover, but also win. I would not be surprised if this is the biggest letdown spot of the week. The Lions coming off a huge win, and they roll into town to Indianapolis on the road, and for some reason, the Lions just have these games where they hit a wall. We saw Jared Goff 2 weeks ago got lucky versus the Texans. The Texans are the worst second half team point-wise in the NFL.
Mm.
And now they're going against another spot where the Colts are also desperate. They have nothing to lose. Anthony Richardson's just playing to figure it out. And these are the scariest teams to face. So I'm not going to sit here and guarantee that the Colts win, but this is a great spot for the Colts, Dino.
Yeah, no doubt. And I feel like what kind of gets lost in all the numbers with the Lions beating the shit out of everybody and sticking out and winning good games. I think what kind of sticks what people kind of forget about is their defense isn't particularly too great. Now, I will say they played a really good game against CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans, even though CJ Stroud is kind of going through a sophomore slump. Not his best game. They did play decent there, but I really feel like that dual threat tandem in the backfield between Richardson and Jonathan Taylor and be able to move the ball downfield methodically, not being such a boom and bust type offense, being able to methodically move down the field using the RPO. Like you said, Shane Steichen's creativity can get really loose and active on this game. And I want to give credit to the Colts organization because I feel like it speaks volumes when your star, your future, your franchise quarterback decides to leave in the middle of like the fourth quarter in a big clutch game. He leaves, walks, says he was tired, and Joe Flacco has to come out there, and they end up losing that game. That could have been a really, really defining moment for the Colts and this organization in their season. But it showed to me how committed they are to Anthony Richardson, and that speaks volumes to me because the fact that he was able to take 2 weeks back. He said he was very, very grateful. He said it was a breath of fresh air for him to take those 2 weeks back and kind of sit down for a little bit. Joe Flacco stunk up the joint, but that's not his fault because, like I said, he's immobile. But once Anthony Richardson came back last week and did what he did against the Jets and make those tight window throws, it lets me know, wow, this organization's in a nice right direction. They're not abandoning the plan prematurely. They stuck with their guy, and it shows that no matter what happens, even in Anthony Richardson's bad games, they have his back. Think about it, guys. I want you to really think about this. When Anthony Richardson has started the game, he's only lost by more than 6 points one time, and that was the week 1 of his rookie year. Honest to God, you can look at the numbers. So I feel like the Colts always find a way to keep it close. Like I said, the last 2 games they lost by 10 points or more was when Joe Flacco was there. But like I said, with Anthony Richardson in the lineup, no matter what his performance is, for some reason they seem to band together. They seem to stick it out, and they always seem to have a chance when he's there. So yeah, backing it up with a touchdown for me is a no-brainer.
Yeah, and just to put on top of your points, a few things that we need to hit on just real quick is this line is inflated because of the public perception and the love for the lines.
Yes.
This line really should be the 5.5 spot because there's going to be points in this game. Another thing is Anthony Richardson is going to be able to improvise every single play. If stuff breaks down, he's going to be able to extend the play. That's huge against the Lions defense. And on top of that, like Anthony Richardson's going to make bad plays, but he's also going to make equally as good plays. So a lot of this stuff balances out. He's going to give you opportunities to score, and he's going to have a couple opportunities for the defense to take the ball away. So as long as we can get more positive plays than negative plays, I think the Colts will be okay, and they'll be in this game competitively the whole time. Number 2, second pick of the week, another big dog. They're back. The Carolina Panthers plus 10.5 against Patrick Mahomes. And the Chiefs coming off a big loss to the Bills. And there's one thing, well, 2 things really I just want to hit on before you go, Dino. And then one is, this is a system play, a Shred the Spread podcast system play. Big numbers against Patrick Mahomes does not equal money. In fact, Patrick Mahomes has never covered a 10-point favorite or more on the road in his career. He just doesn't. The guy's good at home. He covers at home on a short number. Patrick Mahomes with a big number, 37% against the spread over 6. So Patrick Mahomes, not great already, regardless of the situation, home or away against the spread. Now we're getting a 10-point spread on the road, which he's never covered in his life. This might be one of the, I know last year we always said this, but just eye test wise, this is, especially without Rashee Rice, this is one of the ugliest looking offenses. It's very slow, very systematic, not a lot of chunk plays, a lot of just getting the first down, getting in field goal range, letting Harrison Butker, well, actually, he's not even there this week because he had surgery. I don't even remember who the kicker is, but regardless, letting their kickers, take the points, and they're being aggressive on fourth and short. So this this Panthers team, we saw them just get back-to-back wins before going into the bye.
Mhm.
Do they win this game?
No.
No, not necessarily. But you can kind of see the direction. And the one anchor point to this team that I really like, and it's going to do us a favor with a low total and a big spread, is Chuba Hubbard has been so consistent with the ball in his hands.
Hmm.
As long as the Panthers can extend drive and give themselves an opportunity to put up points, get into the red zone, take the field goals, and not give the ball back so consistently with turnovers, I think they'll be okay. This is just a big number for a Chiefs team that seems to stall out a lot, especially in the first half, where they just punt the ball a lot more than they usually do. And again, the eye test, this Chiefs team is not going to beat you by 70-yard plays every single possession. Like, they have Xavier Worthy, but without Rashee Rice, it's been really Travis Kelce over the middle, which he even had a down week last year. And then Xavier Worthy, you can kind of see the rookie kicks in. Like, down the sideline, he's so worried about catching the ball, he doesn't see where he's out on the field. Patrick Mahomes surprisingly missed a couple big throws last week. I mean, just to tee off on that, Xavier Worthy, Patrick Mahomes didn't necessarily have to throw it to the sideline, but it's still a catchable ball. But Xavier Worthy, just the whole 2 feet and the possession and all that stuff, like, there's just so many factors to this Chiefs offense where are they going to be okay once, January comes? Absolutely. But for blowing teams out right now, they just are not designed to do that. Their play calls don't do it. Their personnel doesn't do it. And they're just a team that protects the ball and they use the clock and they take their points. And I expect that to be the same situation here. We're getting a huge number with the Panthers team that they haven't necessarily figured it out, but they're heading in the right direction, Dino.
Yeah, no doubt. And no doubt at all. And to see, Bryce Young's finally able to fucking smile again. I mean, I feel like he's been in an eternal pit of hell.
Confidence is huge.
Yeah, man. Like I said, yeah, he's in a pit of hell for the last 2 years. And like you said, I mean, I am really gonna say I really don't have to say too much. Like I said, we play the trend. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes has never done this. So why would I bet for it now? And and like I said, with Carolina, it's starting to you start to feel good a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You went on a 2-game win streak. Pretty impressive from their standards. And Bryce Young looks like a competent quarterback as long as Chuba Hubbard can kind of get the rushing game going. I'm gonna put my nuts on the table here. I'm actually gonna make a little bold little statement here. I right now on DraftKings in the first half, Carolina is plus 300 for the first half. I would say bet that. I think it will be a 10-9 first half type game. And then eventually Kansas City blows out the door. Or, keeps the game in, finally takes the lead. You know how Patrick Mahomes does. He's spectacular in his late moments. But I'm gonna put my nuts on the table here. Carolina wins the first half this week, plus 300.
I could see it. I mean, and again, like I said, the Chiefs have just, especially this year, they start off slow. They pick it up. They've been trailing, and I think in over half of their games this year,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
a lot of those by 2 possessions. So, I mean, you even saw with the Broncos, especially, like, they find ways to win. It's not very pretty, and I don't expect that to change here. Like Dino said, Bryce Young has had a smile, that takes a breath of fresh air. When you string 2 wins together in the NFL, like, regardless of who you are and what team you're on, that's big. That NFL, the margin of error is so minimal that you have to be damn near perfect to win these games. And I know they just beat the Giants before they went on a bye, but I mean, these are still NFL guys, and he went up against one of the best defensive lines in the league. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns. I
Hmm.
mean, especially with that emotion factor of Burns coming off the edge, like, there's just so much to this game where don't discredit wins is the biggest thing. Like, don't discredit this Panthers team. They can win football games. They can keep football games close. It's the problem with closing out. And I think this is going to be a lot closer of a game than people expect. So that's our second pick of the week. Panthers plus 10.5. Dino, why don't you go ahead and give us the third pick of the week?
Yes, sir. For the third pick of the week, we're gonna go back both of those dogs, home dogs, up with actually a road favorite here. Broncos minus 5.5 against the Raiders. And I really want to talk about how the trajectory that Bo Nix is going right now. He has played absolutely phenomenal. I mean, 4 touchdowns, four passing touchdowns this week. I mean, this past week. And he seemed to be going on a great trajectory. Sean Payton and him seem to be finally clicking on all cylinders. They're backed by a pretty damn decent defense for over there in Denver. So honestly, I mean, right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys know I'm a Commanders fan. I'm a Jaden Daniels fan. Right now, honestly, I think Bo Nix is the offensive rookie of the year over the last couple of weeks that he's played. He has absolutely been phenomenal the last few weeks. I think the Broncos, I believe the Broncos are above 500. They're above 500. I think they're 6-4, 7-4. I mean, not really for sure. Not 100% for sure. I'll check that again. But they
They're 6-5.
yeah, 6-5, right? Yeah, they're just above 500, right? So, like I said, they were playing inspiring football. They're a tough, gritty team, and I feel like they're going to take advantage of a very underwhelming Las Vegas Raiders team. I get it. I get that it's a division game, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sold right now on the way Bo Nix and his offense is moving down the field, backed by that good defense they have on the other side.
Yeah, Bo Nix for those of you guys who watch college football, you know Bo Nix is very trendy.
Yeah,
When he gets his confidence, like you saw it at Auburn before he transferred to Oregon, like he had a lot of games where like, damn, this guy sucks, and then all of a sudden he's like, Jesus Christ, like this guy is amazing. So he is a trendy quarterback, and right now we're hoping to catch him at the point of where he's being trendy, and this is a good matchup for him. Like this Raiders defense doesn't get a lot of pressure besides Max Crosby. The Broncos offense has been really dialed in,
yeah,
and Sean Payton has Bo Nix. I think this over the last 3 weeks, this is the quickest he's gotten snap to throw. This is the quickest over the last 3 weeks. He started off really slow. The game's slowing down for him, and this is the best. I mean,
yeah.
this is probably his best opportunity to really put up some big numbers against this Raiders defense
Mhm.
that they don't get pressure, and their secondary is just bad. There's nothing I like about this Raiders offense either. Like this Broncos defense has been incredible. They're getting pressure. They're intercepting the ball. They're getting sacks. I mean, they have one of the guys who's fucking looking at Defensive Player of the Year. I can't remember his name. I'm having a damn brain
Yeah,
fart.
nah,
But they have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate on their defense. Like, and that's not even including Patrick Surtain. So I think they get a lot of stops. I think this defense for the Broncos is going to give great field position for the offense. And if Bo Nix can just continue to get the ball out quick and let his receivers make big plays, I don't expect this team to stall at all. I expect them to have another potentially four passing touchdown game from Bo Nix. Like he just has it. He's got the feel right now. So hopefully we're not running into the game where he just kind of hits the wall. Hopefully we can, stay on top of the trend. But I really like Bo Nix in the spot. We're getting a great number at 5.5 in the contest. I like him at 6 or better. So we're going to take the Broncos minus 5.5. That is leaving us with 2 picks. We've got both of these games at 4:25 on Sunday Eastern Time. The first of these 2 games are the Cardinals on basically a money line, plus half a point. So pick them. The Cardinals are just they're cruising, man. They're cruising on all cylinders. They look. I mean, this sounds crazy because you guys gave me shit at the beginning of the year. The Cardinals look like the best team in the division. They really do. Top to bottom, quarterback to kicker. And is it the coach? Is it Kyler Murray being actually looks like he want to play football?
Right.
Is it the running game? Is it the presence of Marvin Harrison Jr. that just makes this offense more confident? James Conner running behind a decent offensive line this year. The secondary's been playing pretty good. The defensive line has been getting a lot more pressure than we anticipated at the beginning of the season. I mean, this is just a team top to bottom where I told you guys at the beginning of the year, Dino and I both agreed that the Niners are going to regress.
Mm-hmm.
We're not keen on the Seahawks, so they got a new head coach, and we're not really too big on Geno. And the Cardinals are just sitting there like a team that just gives you an opportunity at such a big value to step in, ruin a couple seasons. As they did last year, they were the team where they weren't even in playoff contention. And, before Josh Dobbs got moved, he was really upsetting a lot of favorites. And that just shows you they have a good scheme. They have a really good team. And they're going to give themselves an opportunity each and every week to win. And again, now we have an opportunity to fade the Seahawks team after a big win, a big come from behind win in San Francisco. Geno Smith pulls a rabbit out of his hat every once in a while, but I just don't think the Cardinals are going to give the Seahawks an opportunity to do that. This defense has been very, like, they're playing over their heads, and I hope that, stays the same, but I just really feel like the Cardinals are going to dominate time of possession. They're going to run the ball down the Seahawks' throat because the Seahawks can't stop the run to save their life. And Marvin Harrison Jr. just draw attention for everybody else and let everybody else get open. And I mean, McBride, the tight end for the Cardinals, has just been running over the field, the middle of the field free, it feels like. I mean, every time you look at his stats, you're like, Jesus Christ, who's guarding this guy? So there's just so many components on this Cardinals team where I expected them to be decent at the beginning of the year. That's why I took that big number. I think it was plus 12-1 or 13-1. And now they're just showing where they have potential. And they're just a team that's trending in the right direction. And I feel like this is a really good spot. And I think the line might be up to -1.5 at some books. Like it's kind of fluctuate all over the place. We're getting them at plus half a point in the contest. I think we're getting value because I have this number at Cardinals -2. I like the Cardinals here.
No doubt, my guy. And I'm going to back it up by saying, in general, the defense have been playing, kind of out of their mind a little bit. But I feel like that's mainly because of Jonathan Gannon's culture is starting to kind of sink into that defense. I mean, like we talked about, this defense has been surprisingly good. This team offensively had potential, and I feel like that's why a lot of people didn't pull the trigger on this team a little bit. But their potential really hinged on Kyler Murray, and when Kyler Murray plays good, competent football, this team wins games. This team wins games. Like I said, it's kind of been a roller coaster. They started up hot a little bit, then they dipped completely down, and then now they're on the upward trend. I feel like they still keep going. I believe the secondary of Seattle is kind of weak, even though people are high on Tariq Woolen and Witherspoon. I feel like their secondary is still suspect. They can't stop a cold on the run. I mean, James Conner's going to be able to run all over and kind of, eat some time. And to be honest with you, I feel like it's like a renaissance. Just like how the Commanders having a renaissance right now, like a cultural renaissance right now. I feel like the Cardinals are starting to hit that stride to maybe, they might finally start becoming into a powerhouse. But for this game alone, I just feel like the Cardinals are just a better team right now. Harder roll. Kyler Murray's doing his thing. He's actually playing some good football. And as long as he's playing good football, everybody else plays great football. They win.
Yeah. The Seahawks are bottom 5 against the run.
Yeah.
Cardinals are top 5 running the ball.
Run.
So
yeah, come on.
That just goes you to show like the difference in like I really think the difference of this game is going to be time of possession and red zone efficiency. And the Cardinals are ranked 7 in red zone percentage, so they're scoring points. And the defense for the Seahawks, they're middle of the pack in passing, but I don't even think that really is the problem. I think it's the fact that they're not going to be able to get off the field in third down. So, bottom 6 third down conversion Seahawks defense. So I think the Cardinals dominate the ball here. I don't know why this line is so short. Let me see what the current line is. Current line, I mean it's all over the place. -1.5 to +1. You just got to shop around, but it looks like you can get a +1 on the Cardinals at DraftKings now. Yeah. So, I really like the Cardinals in the spot. I don't know why this number is so short. I know it's a divisional game, and they're on the road, but give me the Cardinals. And that leaves us with one. Now, I do want to say this. You guys who've been listening to us for a while now know that our lines close Tuesday night. And I do want to apologize because we're going to give a number out here where you're not going to be able to get it. And unfortunately, when the line has such a drastic change like this, and we already like this spot.
Right.
So we already like this spot. We put them in the contest. And I just want to say, I'm sorry because you're not going to be able to get this number now. We just got the news about an hour ago that Brock Purdy is not going to be playing for the Niners this week. Bosa not playing, and then they have a lot of people banged up and questionable. So our last pick of the week, we're not going to talk about too much because it is kind of pointless for you guys. We have the Packers -2.5 against the 49ers. So basically, we like this line because we already thought Brock Purdy was going to be banged up if he played. Mm-hmm. We knew Bosa was going to be banged up if he played. Kittle coming back banged up. So there's just a lot of things where we didn't like the injury report for the Niners. The Packers at home in this game, when they're kind of figuring it out again too, they look good. And the biggest thing for us was the Niners just don't close out games in the fourth quarter. They leave the back door wide open. And this Packers team is so resilient. And the thing we like equally as much as we hate about Jordan Love is he's going to make difficult passes. He's going to give himself an opportunity for a big play as much as he's going to give the defense an opportunity to intercept the ball. So we like the Packers in the spot. We got him at 2.5, but we're not going to hit on it too much. Dino, did you want to say anything about that?
No, I mean, it's the same thing I've been talking about all year. The 49ers defensive line's not that great. They don't have Bosa on top of that. Makes it even worse. Running game's going to be at play here. They're going to be able to control the clock of the game, time of possession. I don't see this as a chance.
Yeah, if I know the number's going to get too big, I don't really have a good. I had this number at 3, and so I thought we were getting a half-point discount on the Packers. I haven't ran anything to look at with the injury report and stuff. My best advice to you, if you want to target this Packers team, is to put them in a teaser. I would tease them with the Broncos. I really like that. Or you could tease the Cardinals up if you want to use it with another one of our picks. So I would say the Packers, perfect tease team if you still want to get like a money line play. The one that we left out that was our sixth man was the Titans. We had the Titans at plus 8.5 in the contest. They just missed the cut. It was actually between the Packers and the Titans. And, with the injury news, we obviously levied the Packers because we're getting way more value. But we did like the Titans equally as much. So if you did want kind of like a bonus pick, that's not in our contest. It's not an official play. But our sixth man this week was the Titans plus 8.5. And that was just basically because the Texans are the worst second half team. And me and Dino were kind of talking about how the offense has taken a big step back, especially with no Diggs. I mean, Joe Mixon is their X factor right now. And then I know they just got Nico Collins back, but the Titans are actually only letting up 20% completion on a pass 20 yards or more. So
crazy.
The deep ball against the Titans has kind of been their best shoot. And maybe it's because teams have just been running the ball on them. But we just thought there was a huge number in the division. So, that was our last one out. So just our 5 contest picks: Colts plus 7.5, Panthers plus 10.5, Broncos minus 5.5, Cardinals plus 0.5 point, and last but not least, the Packers minus 2.5. Those are our 5 picks of the week. Dino, any last words before we get out of here?
Same message as always, knuckleheads. Make sure you guys tune into us on X at @ShredTheSpread_, and follow me at Dineezy. That's at DYNEEZY. This episode, you guys basically got the old-fashioned Shred the Spread type 5 picks here. Like I said, man, backing the home dogs, Patrick Mahomes double digits. You know how we do, and usually these usually result in big wins. So I expect definitely at least 3-2, but at max, definitely got a 5-0 thing we got brewing.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna finish this year strong. We're just barely under 500. We have never finished under 500 in the contest in the last 3 seasons.
Yes,
so
sir.
I expect us to right the ship and end the year hot going into the playoffs. But thanks again for listening to another episode of the Shred the Spread podcast. We will be back next episode for our Thursday night football edition of the podcast. Until next time. We'll see you.
Peace.